Well, this is your boy TJ Blaze, and Happy New Year's. Because I was gonna make a video at the beginning of New Year's, and I was like, I guess there's a lot that's going on, and it really is a lot going on because I'm about to talk about Venezuela. Well, mostly Omni is going to talk about Venezuela. I'm going to do a reaction with a reaction, which I know a lot of people do not like. But let's get to the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Let's see what's going on.
Welcome to an all-new Lay It Omni. Allow me to lay it on you. Happy New Year's! Merry Christmas, okay? It's 2026. Where you guys been, bro? I haven't seen you since last year. I'm gonna kill myself. Elephant in the room, okay? Let's get this out of the way right now, okay? I know exactly what you're thinking. It's not my fault, okay? I don't know why, when every time I take a break from YouTube, that some world life-changing event occurs, okay? I don't know, but it's not me, bro. I promise you. Today, we're going to talk about Venezuela and how the freaking president is, for some reason, in New York facing federal charges in the United States. I'll give you guys all the facts, okay? The brass tacks facts. I'll let you guys know how people are responding around the world, both the left and the right. I'll give you a very quick TLDR, brief history on how we got here in the first place. And then we'll wrap it all up and talk about what might be happening in the future. So yeah, guys, you know the drill. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, and yeah, allow me to lay it on you. So let's start with the facts, okay? As you guys know, last Saturday, all right, January 3rd, only 3 days into 2026, the U.S. conducted a large-scale strike across Caracas, that's the capital of Venezuela, and they captured the now former president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Cilia Flores. They were both dragged out of their beds, they were flown out of the country, and they were taken back to New York, where they're going to face federal charges related to drug trafficking and narco-terrorism. Meanwhile, the vice president of Venezuela, her name is Delcy Rodriguez, she is currently the acting president of the country. Now, even though Rodriguez originally condemned the acts that happened against Maduro, she has now recently switched her tune, saying that Venezuela will quote-unquote prioritize moving toward balanced and respectful international relations with the U.S. and its region. Trump then issued a threat against Rodriguez on Sunday, saying in an interview with The Atlantic, quote, if she doesn't do what's right, she's going to have to pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about.
Trump also threatened to take military action in both Colombia and Mexico, telling them to get their shit together when it comes to the war on drugs.
Don't ask me who's in charge because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
We're in charge. We have to do one thing in Venezuela, bring it back. It's a dead country right now. We were prepared to do a second strike if we needed it. We're totally prepared.
But that's off
we're
the table.
Still prepared.
That's off the table now.
No, it's not. If they don't behave, we will do a second strike. Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making coke.
I had to pause it. This man Trump is talking about a whole country and making them feel like they toddlers. He said if they behave, you got to make sure they be well behaved. Like, what the hell?
Cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. They get all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. There's a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this. I would say every single time I talk to her, I offered to send troops. She's concerned. She's a little afraid. The cartels are running Mexico. Whether you like it or not, it's not nice to say, but the cartels are running Mexico.
He also apparently said that the United States needs Greenland again.
I'm questioning why this man is smiling. Why he's so happy. Why is this man so happy? It's the fact that now he feel like he got that authority based off him being the president, that power he has is very questionable.
and is playing Risk, is trying to just basically conquer countries. But that's about it. Wild shit, right? Okay, how is the world and everyone else responding to it? People who support Donald Trump are celebrating the move as a decisive leadership. They're arguing that Maduro is a very long accused authoritarian and criminal, and that removing him sends a message about U.S. strength, drug enforcement, and influence in the region. His critics, however, on the other hand, are condemning the operation, not necessarily defending Maduro, but arguing that Trump bypassed Congress, violated international law, and set a dangerous precedent for unilateral military action. They're concerned.
And to say it loud and clear, this is not this man's first time doing this. Because then they also was talking about something with Nigeria. So there's a lot that's going on. And this man love to be rebellious, but for a lot of people that are Trump supporters, I'm not trying to violate this man. I'm just speaking my mind. There's certain stuff that we gotta be open about to say, yo, what's right and what's wrong, and what we could agree to that it's total chaos. You gotta be aware of your fellow citizens if you care about the American citizens. And yeah, I would just leave it like that.
Isn't who was captured, but how it was done and what it could lead to. So the divide between the two parties isn't about Maduro itself, okay? It's more so about like legality, the extent of the executive power kind of breaching the legislative, and whether or not this was just an entire huge overreach. Kamala Harris tweeting this, saying that Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela do not make America safer, stronger, or more affordable. That Maduro is a brutal, illegitimate dictator does not change the fact that this action was both unlawful and unwise. We've seen this movie before, wars for regime change or oil that are sold as strength but turn into chaos, and American families pay the price. The American people do not want this, and they are tired of being lied to. This isn't about drugs or democracy. It's about oil and Donald Trump's desire to play the regional strongman. If he cared about either, he wouldn't pardon a convicted drug trafficker or sideline Venezuela's legitimate opposition while pursuing deals with Maduro's cronies. The president is putting troops at risk, spending billions, destabilizing a region, and offering no legal authority, no exit plan, and no benefit at home. America needs leadership whose priorities are lowering costs for working families, enforcing the rule of law, strengthening alliances, and most importantly, putting the American people first. Senator Bernie Sanders said Donald Trump has once again shown his contempt for the Constitution and the rule of law. The president of the United States does not have the right to unilaterally take this country to war, even against a corrupt and brutal dictator like Maduro. The United States does not have the right, as Trump stated this morning, to run Venezuela. Congress must immediately pass a war powers resolution to end this illegal military operation and reassert its constitutional responsibilities. Trump's attack on Venezuela will make the United States and the world less safe. The brazen violation of international law gives a green light to any nation on earth that may wish to attack another country to seize their resources or change their governments. This is a horrific logic of force that Putin used to justify his brutal attack.
Sorry for pausing it, but this would let me know that this is more than trying to show America will, America power. This is a man going based off his own free will, trying to show his free will, but knowing that it's very limited of things that he could do. And the fact that the people who are higher up is allowing certain things to actually go by. So will this man face or deal with consequences, even though we have another country that's actually happy for what happened and what's being resolved? But it's the fact of it don't seem right. It definitely don't seem right. It don't sound right. It don't look right. Nothing is right about this. Let's continue.
On Ukraine. Trump and his administration have often said that they want to revive the Monroe Doctrine, claiming that the United States has the right to dominate the affairs of the hemisphere. They have spoken openly about controlling Venezuela's oil reserves, the largest in the world. This is rank imperialism. It recalls the darkest chapters of U.S. interventions in Latin America, which have left a terrible legacy. It will and should be condemned by the democratic world. Trump campaigned for president on an America First platform. He claimed to be the peace candidate at a time when 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, when our healthcare system is collapsing, when people cannot afford housing, and when AI threatens millions of jobs. It is time for the president to focus on the crisis facing this country and end this military adventurism abroad. Trump is failing in his job to run the United States. He should not be trying to run Venezuela. Vice President J.D. Vance, however, said that the president offered multiple off-ramps, but was very clear throughout this process. The drug trafficking must stop and the stolen oil must be returned to the United States. Maduro is the newest person to find out that President Trump means what he says. Kudos to our brave special operators who pulled off a truly impressive operation. And said PSA for everyone saying this was illegal, Maduro had multiple indictments in the United States for narco-terrorism. You don't get to avoid justice for drug trafficking in the United States because you live in a palace in Caracas. There are videos of Venezuelans who are cheering and happy and very excited for the fact that Maduro has been taken away by the United States, celebrating, but there's also clips of Venezuelans who are standing in line, stocking up on foods and goods because they're kind of concerned about the future of Venezuela now that the United States is basically saying that they're going to just basically take their biggest resources of all time and start running things. So how the frick did we get here, bro? Okay, quickest of the TLDRs. Okay, you guys can do some research if you are history buffs later. TLDR, okay, 1915. Okay, that's when Venezuela discovered the fact that it was sitting on all these oil reserves. Over the next 50 years, okay, America, European countries, they all came through and said, hey, we want a piece of that pie as well. And a lot of Venezuelans felt like that they weren't getting the profits that they were supposed to get from their own oil reserve. In 1999, Hugo Chavez, okay, he becomes president. He does not like the United States. All right, he's anti-elite.
Which a lot of countries don't like the U.S. We know that. The people who live in the U.S., knowing that I live here in the U.S., we know that. We are properly informed. And sometimes some of them is brutally honest about not liking American citizens. This shit's crazy.
Anti-United States. Okay, this man does not like any of us. So in 2001, all right, Hugo Chavez said we're going to nationalize our oil. Okay, that means they're going to kick out all of the private and public companies that are foreign, that are basically making money off their oil, and they're going to nationalize it and take it for themselves in order to distribute to the rest of the world so that they can take in the profits. This essentially doesn't work. Okay, over-relying on Venezuelans' oil has made it so that their other industries start to suffer. And while they were doing well during like World War II, when they were basically helping us and giving us oil during that, they suffered a depression. So their economy, even despite having one of the biggest resources in the world, was still suffering and failing under the regime of both Hugo Chavez and President Nicolas Maduro. Then around 2010 to 2020, I think it was 2015 actually, Hugo Chavez, okay, he died and then he got replaced by President Nicolas Maduro, the guy that you know now. And almost immediately, within the past 3 or 4 years afterwards of getting presidency, okay, the oil market completely tanks and drops. So they started printing a lot of money, but that didn't really help the issue. And a lot of Venezuelans saying that President Maduro was illegitimate and corrupt and was basically using funds from the oils and appropriation from other industries.
Sorry for pausing. And that's another thing that happens a lot based off, businesses, based off capitalism. Everything get used. And people wonder what's going on with, tax dollars and everything else. Because it's always a scheme behind certain things, and but as the citizens, the consumers are never properly informed, never. So we will make speculation, and that's when it comes with all these conspiracy theories and everything else. So it's always something behind the scenes, always.
As well to kind of like pocket and use it for whatever he wants. Afterwards, within the next couple of years, okay, President Maduro, instead of reforming and changing policies to help the entire Venezuelan people, he started to tighten his power and control over the country. He started to jail his opponents. And since Maduro took over power, okay, more than 7 or 8 million Venezuelans have started to migrate out of the country, leading to one of the biggest migrations in Venezuelan history. At the same time, around 2017 and going forward, okay, the United States, they labeled Maduro as illegitimate and as a drug trafficker, and as you guys can see, as a terrorist. So that has led to his capture, and that's kind of how we got to these events here. There's more details, but that's the big quick TLDR. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of Lay It Omni. You've just been laid. Moral of the story. It's not my fault, okay? All right, I know it's not a real moral of the story, okay? But and look, I don't know why this all happened while I was gone, but I know it's absolutely wild, and people are kind of worried if this is going to be shades of World War III. There's a lot of issues that are still coming from this. A lot of people worried because this looks like shades of Iraq, okay, and the war that we had with them, okay? I actually want to do a little bit of more research on that so that I can kind of see some of the parallelisms of what's happening now and what's happening before. There's the fact that Congress apparently isn't operating as intended. Okay, regardless of the results, if the United States is not running underneath the Constitution, then America is just technically just not being America anymore. There's the question of stabilization. Okay, how is the United States going to stabilize the economy and the people of Venezuela? And from what I understand, there's like 30 million people plus in the country. It's huge. There's a lot of people. So how is the United States going to take responsibility for that? That's the next question people are wondering in terms of stabilizing. It creates a power vacuum when you remove somebody, and people are going to charge in to try to replace that. And yeah, I have no idea. That's a lot of niggas. And like Bernie said, okay, some people were worried about, like, will this green light other countries to do like similar actions, like how we saw Russia invade Ukraine? Some people were worried or considered like China and Taiwan, right? Like, is this going to make it so that other countries are going to get bold and be like, fine, we're going to do the same thing. If the United States do it, then we're going to do the same thing, and there's nothing y'all can do to stop us. Not sure. I don't know what it all means yet, but I'll keep you guys posted, okay? Let me know how you guys feel about the situation in the comments below. I will see you guys on the next episode, okay? If you guys want to, you can still catch me on twitch.tv/InfernoOmni. I'll be probably covering more details and other events that are happening.
All right. And that was all from Omni, giving us the news and everything else. That was very informative, highly informative. Whew. And I kind of made the video a little bit longer because I wanted to give my opinions, and I know how it is to do a reaction with a reaction. So it's insane to see and hear what's happening, right? So it's some people who's Venezuelan that's over here that's happy of what's happening and realizing that their people is free. They don't got to worry about this weird dictatorship that's going on anymore. So, but I think it's going to be more news that's coming out. So people want to know what's the hidden agenda, because everybody want to find out what's actually happening behind closed doors, behind the scenes. What is your actual purpose behind this? Rather than you saying, oh, he's doing drug trades and everything else. What is your actual purpose? Because sometimes we see that Trump be blunt about what he's doing or what he want people to believe, because he got his people, his group of people and supporters. So the truth will come out somehow, some way. But that was a good video, and that's my reaction as well behind it. So I just hope the truth will come out. So leave your comments below of how y'all feel about the situation, what y'all think about the situation, and everything else. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.